Assalamu alaikum students. Today we are going to discuss the 7th chapter of our course book and our syllabus, that is Allama Iqbal. As you all know, Allama Iqbal is one of the most prominent personality of our history of Pakistan, and basically he is the person behind the idea of a separate state for Muslims, and he was the one who made Muslims of subcontinent realize that they need a separate state for Muslims to preach the teachings of Islam. He was the one who made them realize through his poetry and through his different social works and through his different political stance. Now let's start reading and further discussing the chapter. Allama Muhammad Iqbal, the poet of East, was born in Sialkot, a town in the Punjab, on 9th November 1877. He received his early education in his hometown. In 1895, he went to Government College, Lahore. He passed his MA in 1899 from the University of Punjab. In the same year, he was appointed Professor of Arabic at the Oriental College, Lahore. He held his job till 1905. In that year, he left for England for higher studies. In London, he received a law degree. In 1908, he was awarded a degree of PhD by Munich University for his work on Persian philosophy. That is why he is also known as Dr. Muhammad Iqbal. As we all know, Allama Iqbal was also known as the poet of East. He was born in Sialkot on 9th November 1877. Sialkot is a small town of Punjab. His early education was from his own hometown, and then in 1895 he went to Government College, Lahore. He did an intermediate from Government College, Lahore. He did his masters in 1899 from the University of Punjab, Masters in Arts, MA. And on that same year he was appointed as the Professor of Arabic language in the Oriental College of Lahore. Till 1905 he worked as a professor in the same college, and then in 1905 he left his job and went to England for further studies. In London he studied law, and he worked on the Persian philosophy. Persian is Farsi. Persian philosophy, and on that work he was awarded a degree of PhD, philosophy of doctorate, from Munich University, and due to this PhD degree he is also known as Dr. Muhammad Iqbal. Allama Iqbal is generally known as a great poet. He was no doubt a great poet, but poetry was only one of his many accomplishments. He was well versed in philosophy, both Eastern and Western. He pointed out the defects in some of the philosophical systems of the West. He devoted a great part of his life to the study of Islam. He also took an active part in politics. He worked for the Muslims of South Asia with great courage. Allama Iqbal is generally known for his poetry, but poetry was one of his many accomplishments he had in his life. He was basically a philosopher. He was well versed in philosophy regarding both Eastern and Western worlds, जिसको हम मगरबी और मशरकी दुनिया कहते हैं. He was fluent in both of these worlds, and he can pinpoint, you can ask him any questions related to these cultures, these norms, about Western norms, about Eastern norms, and about cultures from both areas, and anything about those Eastern and Western worlds, and he would answer you, and he would satisfy you with his answers. And he basically pointed out some defects. He was courageous enough to point out some defects from both Eastern world and Western world, and he did not felt ashamed of pointing out the mistakes of both the cultures. And he devoted his life towards Muslims, and he helped especially he helped the Muslims of subcontinent in realizing that they need a separate state for preaching Islam. And he apparently worked as a politician also. He was elected a member of Punjab Legislative Council in 1926 and held that office in 1929. He did not seek re-election. He was elected president of the Punjab branch of All India Muslim League and held that post till his death. It was on this historic occasion that he made a definite demand for a separate Muslim state in South Asia. In his presidential address, Dr. Iqbal said, India is a continent of human groups belonging to different races, speaking different languages and believing in different religions. Their behavior is not governed by a common race feeling. These groups are all separate nations. The principle of European democracy cannot be applied to India without recognizing the fact of different groups. The Muslim demand to create a Muslim India within India is in no way without justice. For my part, I would like to go one step forward. I would like to see Punjab, Northwest Frontier Province, Sindh and Balochistan united under a single Muslim state. The Muslims are anxious to have a separate state because they fear that Hindu majority, which they believe will not allow Muslims to develop freely. This demand shocked both the Hindus and the British alike. They both opposed it. In his political reign, he was elected as a member of Punjab Legislative Council in 1926 and worked at that post for 3 years, and he did not run for re-election because after 3 years he had the election arrived and some other party, some other person would have to be on that post, and he took the high road and was not the part of re-election and left the post of Punjab Legislative Council in 1929. And then afterwards he was elected as the president of All India Muslim League in Punjab branch. In general, the president of All India Muslim League was Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, but he was the president of a Punjab branch, the party which is the branch which governs all the situations relating to Punjab. He was the president of all the areas of Punjab, and it was one of the most historic occasions in the history of making of Pakistan, that as a president of Punjab branch of All India Muslim League, he demanded in Allahabad meeting, he straightforwardly demanded the separate state for Muslims, and in short, he demanded that it is not unfair, or it is with full conviction. He stated with full conviction that it is for the justice of the lives of Muslims of subcontinent that they need a separate state for preaching Islam, for following the teachings of Islam. And then he himself added something that he took the message another step forward, and he demanded that he wants Sindh, Northwestern Frontier Province, that was NWFP and now it is Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, KPK, Punjab and Balochistan to be under that state which is to be for the Muslims. And this demand of Allama Iqbal shocked both Hindu majority and Muslim majority, because he said that he believed, he believed that when Britishers move out and Hindus will continue the ruling of subcontinent, the Muslims feared that Hindus would not let them preach Islam according to their teachings. So his demand of separate state of Muslims shocked both Hindus and Muslims, and they both opposed it. That this was the first time that a demand was made for the separate Indian Muslim state. Dr. Iqbal did not stop at this. All his efforts were now directed towards the achievement of this goal. In May 1937, Dr. Iqbal wrote a letter to Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. In this letter, he discussed in detail the problems of the Indian Muslims. He once again advised that only the creation of a separate Muslim state could solve these problems, and said to Quaid-e-Azam, "Don't you think that the time for such a demand has already arrived?" Dr. Allama Iqbal was the first person in the history of Pakistan to make the definite demand of the separate state for Muslims. Although Quaid-e-Azam was working for the same thing, same mission, same goal, but Allama Iqbal was the first person to vocalize this demand again through his gatherings in Allahabad and through his different speeches, and he was the first to vocalize this demand. And in 1937 he discussed these problems with Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the problems of the problems of Muslims that they were facing in living in the Indian state, because he thought and advised Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah that only the separate state for Muslims can solve the problems of the Muslims of subcontinent that they were facing in Hindus ruling. On 21st June 1937, he again wrote to Quaid-e-Azam, a separate federal state of Muslim provinces formed on the lines I have proposed is the only way by which we can have a peaceful India and save Muslims from the rule of non-Muslims. Again, on 21st June 1937, he again wrote to Quaid-e-Azam that only the area which was proposed by Allama Iqbal in his Allahabad presidential address, that he wanted Sindh, Punjab, NWFP and Balochistan in the under the state which was to be for the Muslims of subcontinent, that only made on the proposal that he proposed, on the demand he proposed, is the only solution for the difficult lives of the Muslims, to save them from the ruling of non-Muslims. The Muslims awoke from their sleep as a result of Iqbal's efforts. They turned over a new leaf. Now they all wanted a separate Muslim state. The Muslim League, representing the whole of Muslim India, met in Lahore and passed a resolution on 23rd March 1940 demanding a separate state for the Muslims of India. This resolution is now known as the Pakistan Resolution. From this time onward, the Muslims never looked back. They put their heart and soul into the struggle for Pakistan. And due to Allama Iqbal's continuous efforts, the Muslims turned a new leaf, and Muslims the Muslim spirits awoke from their sleep, and they started struggling for making a separate state for Muslims. And on the historic date, which is known as the Pakistan Resolution Day, which was on 23rd March 1940, all the Muslims gathered in Lahore, which is now the point of Minar Pakistan. They had a presidential address, they had a meeting there, and on that day they passed a resolution which is now known as the Pakistan Resolution, that they need a separate state, and they will not relax yet, or they will not look back, or they will not stop until they get their mission, until they get their goal achieved. And from that day, the Muslims of the subcontinent never looked back and struggled hard, struggled day and night. And after 7 years of struggling, on 14th August 1947, Pakistan finally appeared on the map of the world. They succeeded in their struggle. On 14th August 1947, Pakistan appeared on the map of the world. Iqbal died in 1938 and could not see the actual creation of Pakistan, but he had played a major part in its creation. Quaid-e-Azam praised Iqbal's role in a message on his dad. To me, he was a friend, guide and philosopher, and during the darkest moments through which the Muslim League had to go, he stood like a rock. Although Allama Iqbal passed away in 1938 and he was not there to see the actual creation of Pakistan, but he played a very pivotal role in the making of Pakistan and in the history of Pakistan. And Quaid-e-Azam said on his death that he was a friend to him, and he when the Muslim League was going through the darkest time of their period, he stood there like a rock, and he made the Muslims believe. Because of him, the Muslims believed that they could achieve their demand for the separate homeland for Muslims. He believed that fate in Islam made the Indian Muslims one nation, separate and apart from the Hindus. He strongly believed that in a united India, where the Hindu majority would rule the country, the Muslims could not develop freely. He had a great love for Islam and was completely devoted to it. Both his prose and poetry reflect the devotion. He always advised Muslims to remain true to their faith. In his Allahabad address, he said, "I have learned one lesson from the history of Muslims. At difficult moments in their history, it is Islam that has saved Muslims and not Muslims that have saved Islam." If today you put your faith in Islam, you will become strong and united once again and save yourselves from the complete destruction. Allama Iqbal was a great believer in Islam, in faith, and he always said to other Muslims that no matter what, don't let your faith lose in Islam. And he told them that all his life he had learned one thing from researching and from reading the history of Islam, that when Muslims are going through darkest periods, it is Islam who had saved the Muslims, and it is not the other way that Muslims save Islam. It was only and only Islam that has saved Muslims from completely destroying themselves. And he advised Muslims in his Allahabad address, in his historic Allahabad address, he had reminded Muslims to put their faith in Allah and put their faith in Islam, so that by keeping their faith and by maintaining their faith in the power of Allah and Islam, they could achieve their dream of having a separate state for Muslims, so that they can live their lives according to the teachings of Islam.